Welcome to Dashing Dish. I have two special guests with me today, Maddie and Ollie, and we're going to be testing out some of their favorite Dashing Dish recipes. Our kids' favorite menu includes confetti cake muffins, high protein ranch dip, protein packed pizza bites, and Instapot spaghetti and meat sauce. I'm Katie Farrell, and Maddie and Ollie are joining me today enjoying some of our favorites. So for our first recipe, we're gonna make one of my kids' favorite dinner recipes, which is Instapot spaghetti and meat sauce. And I love it because it literally takes minutes to prepare, and the Instapot does all the work for you. So if you don't have an Instapot, there are plenty of spaghetti and meat sauce recipes on Dashing Dish, but this one does require an Instapot. And I actually love my Instapot. I was a little intimidated by it at first, and I thought, I don't know how to work all these buttons, and it just really intimidated me. But once you learn it, it is so easy. And I love it because it also doubles as a crock pot. So if I can encourage you to get an Instapot, I will say it has made my life so much easier. I think one of the things I love most about it is you can actually cook frozen meat right in the Instapot. For this recipe, you'll need 1 8-ounce package of spaghetti, 1 pound of lean ground meat, 1 jar of pasta sauce, 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna start by putting a pound of ground meat into the Instapot, and I'm gonna spray the bottom first with some cooking spray so it doesn't stick. You wanna just kind of spray it all on the sides of the insert pot, just so that it comes off nicely when you're done cooking. We're gonna put our meat in there. And I do have my Instapot on saute mode. So I kind of preheated it for just a few minutes before adding my meat. And we're gonna just break it up with my favorite meat tool, which I don't really even know what you call this thing, but it's just the meat grounding tool. And it's really good because it really gets all the ground meat kind of crumbled up fine, easier than you could do with just a spatula. So I'm gonna just break up the meat a little bit here as it's cooking. Then I'm gonna put my seasonings, and this just calls for a few simple seasonings, but you could add basil, oregano, whatever you like in your pasta. We're just doing salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. Super simple. And then I'm gonna continue to kind of break it up a little bit as it browns. So my kids are gonna be joining me in the kitchen today, and I love cooking with my kids. One of my favorite things about homeschooling Maddie this year is that she's able to be in the kitchen with me more. And I feel like one of the biggest blessings of having her home a little bit more is I get to teach her life skills. So she's already loving baking, but she hasn't really cooked a whole lot with me in the past. So now that she's 7 and she's getting a little older, she's starting to learn to cook with me. So this would be a perfect recipe to make with your kids. All they need to do is maybe break up some of the meat with you, add some seasonings, and really you can teach them about why it is that you're adding certain ingredients, and teach them about healthy ingredients and why we eat certain things or the way that we eat. And for Maddie, one of the things I've really taught her over the years is about protein and how protein helps us grow strong and it helps our bodies feel their best. So this would be a good time to kind of explain, why do we add meat to a recipe? We're adding some protein. So it's been really great to be able to get them in the kitchen with me. Ollie, of course, is still a little bit tough because he's 2, but he likes adding sprinkles to things. So we usually pull him in for the last few steps of recipes. Okay, so this looks great. The meat is now browned. So we're gonna go ahead and add 1/2 cup of water. So these next few steps are pretty important as far as the pasta turning out just right. So you want to make sure you follow these steps. So we added a 1/2 cup of water, and we're going to give it a little bit of a stir. We're going to break all of that brown off the bottom of the pan, and that's where the flavor is, so that's why we do that. Then we're going to add our sauce. You want to make sure you get all that in there. We're going to give it another stir. This is so easy, and I love this recipe because it usually is enough for leftovers, which moms out there know. Sometimes that is so golden just to have leftovers. So I'm gonna layer half of the pasta in the Instapot. And then we're gonna layer the other half right on top. And then we're gonna pour our water over. And from here, you don't wanna stir anything. You just wanna leave it just as it is. And then we'll save our Parmesan cheese for sprinkling and stirring in at the very end. So now we're gonna put our top on. You wanna make sure it has the seal for the pressure cooking. And we're gonna seal it. So make sure that the top seal is shut so the pressure doesn't come out ahead of time. So we're gonna seal it shut, and we're gonna turn it off saute. And we're gonna turn it on pressure cook for 8 minutes. So that's all you have to do. Okay, so our pressure cooker is done cooking. It let off a loud beep, and you'll wanna open it up right away. So we're gonna open it up. Lots of steam bath here. So we're gonna then add our Parmesan cheese, just a little bit of it. I'm gonna save some to top it for garnishing. And then we're gonna give it a stir. Just kind of stir everything together. And how cool is that, that the pasta is perfectly cooked right in the Instapot. No boiling pasta, draining it, all of that. It's all done in one pressure cooker. So you may notice that the pasta is a little bit thin or a little bit liquidy. That's okay, it is going to thicken up. Give it about 10 minutes to sit in the Instapot, and it will just absorb all of that liquid perfectly. And then you can serve it with the rest of your Parmesan cheese. Well, I've got my Maddie girl here with me today, and we're gonna make one of her favorite recipes, which is pizza bites.
Pizza.
Yeah, you love pizza, don't you? And Ollie also loves pizza. In fact, if I tell him we have pizza, I've never seen him run as fast as he does then to his high chair. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of oat flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of oil, 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 cup of shredded cheese, 1/4 cup of Parmesan. We're gonna start by making the dough of these pizza bites, and it's more nutritious than just regular pizza crust because we're using oat flour, which has fiber and protein in it. So, Maddie, you wanna add the oat flour to the bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you got anything on your hands, you can just wipe it off there. Okay, and then we've got a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and soda. You wanna add those? Go ahead and add them straight to the bowl there. Good job. And then some salt.
Yeah.
There you go. And one of the things I've learned being a mom through Maddie, because she's my first, is that when I do everything for her, it's actually not helping her. Imagine that. But sometimes it's so much easier, and I know all the moms out there can understand to just do it for your kids when they're little because it takes sometimes much longer and it requires more patience. So sometimes I just think it's just easier if I just do it myself. However, I'll never forget when her preschool teacher said to me, Katie, all the other kids know how to open and close their lockers, but Maddie doesn't because you do it for her every day. So you need to let her try. And I was like, oh no, what am I doing? So that was kind of really my eye-opening moment when she was 3 years old that, you know, me doing everything for her actually wasn't helping her in life. So now, instead of doing everything for her, a lot of times I let her try it first. And if I have to come alongside her, I'll then teach her or do it with her. But it does require much more patience for sure. All right, so now we're gonna add Greek yogurt, and this is what's gonna bind the dough together. And it also adds a good amount of protein as well. So Maddie, what is your favorite food right now?
Pizza.
Is it pizza? I had a feeling you'd say that. And I have to say, her taste has grown and changed over the years. She used to not even eat a single ounce of meat, not at all. And I really struggled with getting especially iron in her and protein. And then she also couldn't eat a lot of dairy. So you can imagine, I couldn't give her a lot of cheese and no meat. So I was really at a loss of kind of what to feed her. And so I made a lot of homemade things, just like we're making here, to try and add some protein in. And she didn't like plain yogurt, so I would add yogurt into things to get her some protein. But now, Maddie, you love burgers, you love chicken, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this dough is coming together well. We're gonna kind of use our hands now. You did so good. We're gonna use our hands to bring it together.
Hands.
Just like that. Kind of get all the dough with the yogurt.
Yogurt dough.
And it kind of seems strange to put yogurt into a dough, but I promise you when you taste this, you'll realize it is so, so good. And you honestly don't taste it. Now we're gonna add our oregano and our garlic. Yes, you can add the garlic.
Garlic.
There you go. And our Parmesan cheese. You wanna add that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you can just add the whole thing. Just dump the whole thing in. Good job. All right, now we're gonna mix all this together. Maddie, you can go ahead and roll these into balls with mommy. So we're gonna roll this dough into some smaller balls, small enough so that you're putting 3 balls into each muffin tin, so maybe a little smaller than that.
Small.
Yep, maybe about 1/2-inch balls. Okay, so go ahead and roll the dough into balls with mommy, and we're gonna put them in the muffin tins. All right, so these are looking good. Maddie, we're gonna do 3 balls in each muffin tin. That should use up just about the rest of the dough here. And then we're gonna top them with cheese. Do you wanna start doing that? Just sprinkle cheese over while I finish the balls. Oh, go right close to them so that it's not on the pan, because we don't wanna lose all our good cheese there. There you go, good job. So the cheese is gonna kind of melt into these, and then they have Parmesan cheese in the dough as well, so that's where you're gonna get even more cheese. And then we're gonna, they're gonna kind of puff up in the pan as they bake and come together, so it's not individual balls anymore. And then you can dip these in some pizza sauce. So we have pizza sauce for when they're done cooking.
Yeah.
They're gonna be so good.
Pizza balls.
So you could dip them in pizza sauce or whatever you like. If you like ranch with your pizza, whatever. You can dip
I
them.
don't like ranch with my
No,
pizza.
no, okay. And you could probably do something as long as it's not too wet of a veggie, if you like veggies on your pizza, or you could do pepperonis on top of these, just cut up small. So olives or pepperonis, small diced green peppers would be good on these too. All right, these are looking good. So we're gonna bake these off 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Good job, Maddie.
Yeah.
Coming up next, Maddie loves dip, and this high protein ranch dip is perfect for veggies, pizza, or anything she loves to dig into ranch. Okay, now we're on to another really special recipe that kids will enjoy, and you'll enjoy it because it gets some protein in them. High protein ranch, and it's with a few simple ingredients. The star of the show is actually cottage cheese. Now, if your kids or you would never eat cottage cheese, don't worry, you will never know that there's cottage cheese in this recipe. It just gives it a lot of protein. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of cottage cheese, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 tablespoon of fresh dill or a 1/2 teaspoon of dried dill, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna add that to the food processor.
Yeah.
And that's gonna blend it up really smooth so you won't know there's cottage cheese. So Maddie, I'm gonna have you just cut up these carrots however you want. And remember, we have some kid-safe knives here. You can just put them right here in the bowl. And that way it gives Maddie a chance to practice her cutting. We don't really need to cut up these baby carrots any smaller than they are, but it just gives her practice. So I like to give her a kid-safe knife whenever I can and let her get in the kitchen with me and practice. And then I'm gonna add all of our seasonings to the cottage cheese. And this is really, the seasonings is really what gives it the ranch, the flavor. And what I like to think about all the time, whenever I'm cooking or whatever it is I'm doing, is how can I incorporate my kids with me? I think that's one of the hardest things to think about because, again, it's just easier to do things quickly and on our own without our kids getting involved. But then we're not really setting them up for success in their own adult life. So Maddie's been in the kitchen with me a lot, but I also think about, without her doing stuff with me, how I'm being a role model to her just by how she watches my life. So sometimes that's even more powerful, I think, than having them do stuff with you, is just think about how are you living your life, and do you want to be a role model that is portraying what you would like to portray to your kids?
You know I don't like ranch.
You don't like ranch?
No.
Well, you still give it a try for mommy, right?
Or
One try. And don't make a yucky face if you don't like it. Give your best face. Give a smile. That's what Daddy has to do. There was a time when Maddie was about 3 years old or something. She didn't like my mac and cheese. And Sean said, that hurts Mommy's feelings when you don't like her food. Well, then she started pretending she liked my food. It was so sweet. She literally felt then so bad. I was like, Maddie, you can say if you don't like something. It's okay. Mommy can handle it. All right, so you can see how it's nice and smooth now. So that looks really good. That took me, I'd say a good maybe 4 or 5 minutes of really blending it in the food processor, but it did all the work for me. Those carrots look so good. Do you want to try it on a spoon or on a carrot?
a carrot.
All right, give it a try. Go ahead and grab one of the carrots.
Carrot.
It's good, huh?
Ow.
You don't like the carrot? So you could serve it with celery. Okay, all right, let's get it out of your mouth and then come back to the camera. Okay, that's fine. So you could serve this with celery or crackers or whatever you like with your ranch. You could even use it as a dressing or any kind of dipping sauce. You gotta make sure she gets all that carrot out of there. So you can keep this in your fridge for up to 7 days. Thanks for helping me. Love you. Coming up next, Ollie's favorite. Confetti cake muffins that are like a party in your mouth, yet healthy enough to eat for breakfast. All right, Maddie, our next recipe is going to be a party in your mouth. Can you guess what we're making?
Cupcakes.
Yes. What kind?
Sprinkle cupcakes.
Yes, confetti cake muffins, or in this case, cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Which always goes over better than just saying we're having muffins. I don't know why. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of applesauce, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of milk, 1 1/2 cup of oat flour, 1/2 cup of sweetener, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1/4 cup of sprinkles. So we're gonna start with some oat flour. There we go, which is more nutritious than white flour, so we like using that. Okay, I'll let you do it. Some sweetener, and then applesauce and eggs you can add, okay, Maddie? So go ahead and when you add the applesauce, you can use this little spatula to help you get it all out. And then I'm gonna do the baking soda and the baking powder. It's gonna help these muffins do what? Do you remember? What does baking soda do?
I forgot.
Okay, it helps them rise. And then I'm gonna add vanilla extract because that's what I have. But if you have almond extract, you'll be amazed how the almond extract tastes just like cake mix.
Let me do the rest.
Okay, you do the eggs. So I love using almond extract when I'm baking if I have it on hand. Okay, gentle cracking for those eggs. You got it? It's okay, you can do it. You got it. Now pull it apart. Good job. Okay, we'll put it back in the bowl. You got it.
Eggs.
All right, next one. Next one. Good, you got it.
Scared, I'm afraid of it.
Press in right where it's cracked. There you go. There you go, perfect. Now, Mom's gonna give it a quick stir and then I'll let you keep stirring, okay? Yep. Give it a quick stir just so it doesn't fly everywhere.
Oh, it did fly.
That's okay. Okay, go ahead and give it a good stir. Now, these are really good for you. They have fiber, protein, a ton of nutrition. So we actually serve these to our kids for breakfast. They think that it's dessert for breakfast, but they're getting all the good stuff. This is much healthier than even a bowl of oatmeal in the morning, and so much better than a bowl of cereal, which is basically just sugar, and even better than a piece of toast. So my kids think that they're having like the best life ever, but really I know they're getting all the nutrition in them, so makes me happy too. Now, should we let Ollie add these sprinkles since that's his favorite job? Or should you add them and then we'll let him top some?
I want to.
Okay, you add just about half the jar. Okay? And when I add sprinkles for the kids especially, I try and find ones that are naturally colored. So if you can find some online or in your grocery store that use natural food colorings, that's always really good to find. Okay, those look great. So then we'll pour these into our cupcake tin, okay? Using an ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
You can keep stirring in those sprinkles if you want.
Yeah, we're making ice cream now.
Does it look like ice cream?
Yes.
Well, because we're using an ice cream scoop, kind of. But I love using an ice cream scoop because then we have the perfect size muffins. Okay, let Mommy do half and then you'll get to do the other half, okay? All right. Keep giving a good stir for those. Okay. All right, you're good, you're good. It's stirred up for sure now. All right, hang on, let me move it closer to you, okay? Here you go. There you go, good job. And then just make sure they all get about the same amount of batter. And if we have some on the sides, no big deal, we'll just kind of push it in. It's okay. Good job. Is this one of your favorite breakfasts? Confetti muffins for breakfast? Yeah.
I used to eat. I changed from toast and then to never balls and then to.
It's true. You do change what you like quite often,
breakfast.
which is very different from Sean and I. Sean and I have like our same things all the time. We're both middle children. I think that's why.
What?
Because we stay in our comfort zone and we don't move from it. And it's funny because when we go out to eat or when we do something and we try something new,
Changes.
we always regret it. Always. We're like, why didn't we just stick with what we know and love? But Maddie does, she changes what she likes pretty often. Sometimes
To toast the ball.
it's not always easy. It's not always easy. One day she'll like something, the next day she won't like it anymore. She'll want to try something else. But I think that's also part of being a kid. All right, these are looking really good, Maddie. We'll just finish these up, and then we're gonna have Ollie top them with sprinkles at the end. Do you think that's a good idea? We gotta get Ollie in the kitchen, and this is his favorite part.
Well, what if we just get him right now?
Yeah, let's go get him.
I'll go get it.
Okay. All right, Maddie, you can put your sprinkles. Ollie, here's yours. Can you put some sprinkles on the muffins? Oh, yeah. Mama help you?
No, I tapped it.
Oh, Ollie do it? Okay, you want to try some? You want? You can try. Oh, okay. You go. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Is that good? Okay. You can try some too, Maddie. Oh, thank you for getting the rest on. We'll take a little from that one too. Where's Ollie's cup of sprinkles? Where's Ollie's cup? Oh, okay. You want to put some sprinkles on? Can you do that?
No,
Oh, okay, okay. Well, at least they're natural food coloring. All right, all done with that, all done. Thank you, Ollie. So we're what are you doing to your brother? The Muffin Man. That's so cute. All right, we're gonna bake these 350 degrees for about 20 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. Good job, guys. Yes, you can. Good job. Well, we had so much fun today making some of my kids' favorite meals and treats. Maddie, what did you love the most that we made today? The spaghetti. And Ollie is clearly loving these pizza bites. Oh, so good. Is that so good? That's okay. You want some more sauce to dip it in? Yeah, you want some sauce? Oh, so good. And what I love about all these recipes is they're packed with nutrition, protein and fiber to keep your kids satisfied so they're not asking, what is there to eat? You know, I'm hungry for another snack. And that is so important as a mom. So you can head over to dashingdish.com for all of these recipes where you'll find recipes and more to nourish your body and soul.